What's going on, y'all? Shelf Society back here again, and this is part 21, I think, of me doing this. I don't know, I'm lost somewhere, but all I know is I'm doing it, so let's get it. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are doing good. I am too. I'm actually doing a lot better. What is it? But I did want to catch up because it's been a minute since I've been on the game. Not only that, but also life has kind of got me a little bit by the balls, you know. And when that happens, well, you know, not everything will go right and all that, and it's okay. So I'll start off by saying this that I've had this one friend for roughly 3 years now, right? I want to say 3 years. I've had them for 3 years, or at least I've known them for 3 years. And, you know, we've been together through some tough times, right? I mean, that's friendship. That's always gonna be how it is, right? And I've been there for him plenty of times, right? Whether it was me having to drive him to work sometimes, because his parents couldn't make it, or something like that. There's always a little ordeal behind it, and I don't mind. I'm not this guy who's like, oh, you have to give me something in return, right? Because I know people do their best to give back to other people, right? My problem starts coming around when uh, I tell you something that's being an issue with a certain person and nothing is being done to resolve it. That's where I have a problem. So, I've known this guy for 3 years, right? Cool guy. I've also known this girl for 2 years. And originally, right, I thought that she was a friend. I really did. Unfortunately, I found out the hard way that I was completely wrong. I had a situation 2 years back, roughly around the same time, right? Was it like 2023, right? Uh, I could have gotten in trouble for absolutely nothing, right? Long story short, this one girl accused me of following her, which is absolutely crazy. And the thing was, I didn't even like the girl, right? Like, I knew she had a boyfriend. All, but see, that's the thing, right? I know she had a boyfriend, and I'm very respectful of boundaries. I'm never one to cross them, and if I feel like I'm crossing someone else's boundaries, I will take a step back in, you know, going backwards. All that to say, um, I get boys can get very, maybe even threatened, but, also not even intimidated, that's not the word, worried. Worried that their girl will be doing something with some other guy. I get it. I know that fear. I have that fear to this day still. Um, Paranoid. Yeah. Let's just call it paranoid. So, you know, he probably figured out that I was talking to her and he didn't want me talking to her, which is cool, right? And she even told me flat out, hey, he doesn't want me talking to you, but it was over through text, right? I was like, you know what? No problem. I completely understand. So I didn't hit her up that much. Um, but then the next day, I got like a report on me, which was weird. I was like, what the heck's going on? And yeah, no, I could have got fired over absolutely nothing. And I have the evidence to say that I wasn't there that day, when this. Now, it could have been reported the day before, which, then I was there. But even then, I would only walk the girl that I liked to her car. And mind you, she had to wait a little bit because her parents picked her up at that point, right? And I would walk her to her parents' car. So for me, it's like, okay, cool, I don't mind. I got time to kill. I got time to try to raise up this girl. So it's like, sweet. But then this girl's saying that I did X, Y, and Z, and it's like, nope. So fast forward to this right moment. My job got a hold of this somehow when I had a job. What is it? Now I have like a better job. But to say the least, they got a hold of it. They're like, hey, so this girl's saying this blah blah blah, right? Did you do it? And I'm like, no. But like, I'm a very nervous person and I freak out easily. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't expect her to do this, but I kind of got a hint. And I told my supervisor, I was like, straight up, listen, this would happen online. I didn't pursue, didn't do anything like that. Like, yada yada yada, right? But still, it was like, I had to worry over my back. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It made no damn sense to me. So, uh, yeah, that had happened. And for 5 months, I had very bad thoughts. I was going through a range of emotions. I felt suicidal. It was very, very bad. Very bad. So, and I would never wish that upon my worst enemy. Uh, because it's not a feeling a man should go through, especially when he knows he's not in the wrong. But, it's one of those things where once society paints you as guilty, even if you're not guilty, like say in a court of law, you're still you're still guilty in a societal way. It's like, you can't it's hard to say that you can make a comeback from it, but if you do, lucky you. A lot of guys don't. And I just felt devastated. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was brought to tears at some points in my life. I was like, oh my god, dude. Because it felt like my whole life was crashing down, right? And the crazy part was one of my exes, uh, well, before I even knew she was going to be an ex, right? Unfortunately. Uh, she was like trying to talk to me, right? Like, hey, my name is so and so. And I'm like, cool. My name is blah. That's it. That's all it was. I even said blah. Like my name's blah. So yeah, it was just like wow. And I'm telling you, stuff like that had a bad effect on me. Like just talking to girls in general, because I couldn't trust one. Maybe the girl that I liked, yeah, I could kind of trust. And I didn't believe she would do anything like this to me. And I was right. She wouldn't, right? And she spilled out the beans to me at some point, telling me, hey, this happened. You know, not really my fight to intervene. And I understood because, that's the one thing you don't want to get in the way of, right? When just shit comes your way, it's like you let two people handle it. I'm cool that she didn't take no sides in the end of the day. I'm still friends with her to this day, but I'm not gonna lie and say that that experience didn't hinder me liking her, because it did. And I found out later that she had a boyfriend for like 4 years later. I was like, oh shit. So there was no way I was even gonna be able to say like I got even a chance, which I'm okay with. I'm just happy that she's with someone who values her and loves her for who she is. That's all that matters to me. And I found mine too, so I'm happy. We're all happy. Um, but back to the story, right? So during this time, this girl decides, the one that I'm actually talking about, not the one that like made the false allegation about me, but this girl in particular, I thought she was a friend. Turns out she was not, and I learned that the hard way because I'm walking, down the stairwell to the first floor, and she has this desk, right? And the desk, she's at the front doing her thing, right? And it's nothing much. She's really just sitting on her ass, like being on her phone. It's like 4 o'clock, and I didn't even bother her at all. I'm like, hey, hi, how are you doing? How's your day, right? And she throws this like very weird statement, you know. She's like, oh, that's not appropriate to ask. This is, we're in a workplace or whatever. And I got this immediate sick feeling that it's like, oh no, I'm about to relive through all this again. I'm like, nope, fuck all this. So I just dipped out. I never bothered talking to her again. Why? Because I already went through some shit before, and I don't want to go through it again. So, unless I'm a masochist and I hate myself, I probably will do that. But until then, hell no. And I got so, I'm telling you, my paranoia went up to 10 because of that. Uh, but yeah, no, it was just like, oh my god, I don't want to relive through this again. I don't need it, And my brain was hurting, my heart was hurting. Um, yeah, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm choking up a little bit. I guess I am because of how terrifying this feeling is, right? And I can't tell my old man because he's gonna be like, oh, well, you're a bitch or whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's like stuff like that. It's just like, oh my god. So, um, yeah, yeah, no, it's very hard to say. But all that to say, this girl added onto my paranoia. I was not having it. So I didn't talk to her for 2 years. And then it ends up that in my friend group, right, that this girl was in there. I'm like, okay, cool. And my girlfriend's also in there too. So great. And I don't talk to this girl, I don't bother because there's no point, frankly. But, we keep it all cordial as much as we can. So then last Saturday, right, one of our friends, his birthday was way past that week, right? So he decided instead of throwing it on a day that I'm available, he threw it on a day that I'm not available. I'm like, okay, thanks, whatever. But I wasn't too salty about it. I've missed people's birthdays. They've missed mine. It's no biggie. I don't care. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But so we're somewhat in this like group chat, and these friends are just really trying to convince my girlfriend to go, but they kind of made it to the point where um, she could only be in one of the cars because one of the other friends from a friend of one of my friends was like, I don't want to be responsible for you transportation wise. Understandable, fine, whatever. But then it's like you put her in this impossible situation where she doesn't want to be like near anywhere with this girl, right? And I don't blame her because this girl is annoying. She smells. It's just me, 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 me. Like the spotlight always has to be on her, right? And it's just, and you know what's crazy, right? My mom at 53 years old or whatever the hell she is now, uh, if I call her up, um, she'll just be like, she's got double chins, right? Naturally. This girl in her 20s has triple chins. And somehow she's like skinny, right? Like, not like fat, right? But it's like, what the fuck, right? I would have thought it's like triple Whataburger meat or something like that. I don't know. But it's very, very like strange. And to think that you're hot shit like that, you're not. You really aren't. I'm telling you. Um, you're not. But yeah, it's like wow. All right. Someone's a little obsessed with their image. But yeah, no, this girl is just whatever. So my girlfriend decides, you know what, I don't want to go to this birthday party. And there's like three guys that are just trying to convince her, right? As including, well, I should say, two guys and including the birthday boy. You know, it's like really, like, can you not catch the hint that there is trouble here? And I get it. You want everyone to be kumbaya, but some people actually get off to the fact that they like to start shit. They genuinely do. You know, just starting fights makes them feel superior in a way. I don't know what the hell it does, but it's very weird, no doubt. All that to say, um, yeah, so that happened. Okay, excuse me. uh, Oktoberfest comes around, right? And it's this little gathering of a bunch of us, right? Probably at least 100 people lined up. And as we're getting our food, right? One of our friends made like a little bit of a racially charged joke at me, and I didn't mind, right? But then that other person, the girl that I don't really like, right, and the girl that my girlfriend also doesn't like, she's like, oh well, more like what he didn't do, right? Like she knows me, bro. You don't know me. That's the thing, right? Like you don't know who I help out, and I felt like that small statement was a jab at my character, trying to make me like look out to be racist as hell when really I'm not. Hell, I'm racist towards myself, right? And I don't mind a little like few racial jokes here and there. It is what it is, right? And I'm cool with it myself. You know. But when there's like a borderline of, oh hey, this is like actual, like you're essentially stepping on people's feelings and treating them like fucking garbage, then I have a problem with that. That's where I'm like genuinely, okay, wait just a fucking second, right? Because there's jokes and then there's actual projection, and people will project their hate on to you through like jokes. Obviously she was not joking, and she was making it little personal, so I should say, right? And sometimes in the mornings, if I get a chance, like early in the mornings, I'm kind of like just trying to help some people out. So it's like whatever. But she doesn't know me. She doesn't know my character. She just thinks that she does. And so I told one of my friends at that time, I was like, hey, listen, uh, and right when it happened that day, right, me and my girlfriend, we're right there. We hear all of this. I'm like, bro, we're right here. We can hear the shit you're saying about me, right? It's just like, oh my god, it feels like high school all over again. But like, my competition's an ugly bitch. And it's like, holy shit, dude. So, um, we kind of shoo our friends away because I was just not feeling it. I just ate my food in a quick gulp. Frankly, I was not trying to stay there anymore. And it's like, nope, I'm good. So I essentially texted one of my friends through the cord. I'm like, hey, uh, we gotta talk because this is kind of getting a little out of hand, personally. And so he doesn't want to like get involved with the situation, even though he's the one that lets the people in to our group. Which before I never understood why people were so selective and very protective of their groups and cliques, I should say. But then I started understanding this is the exact reason why. Because you can't satisfy everyone, right? This isn't like government where you try to be kind to everyone and be very understanding. No, like this is social groups, right? Shit's gonna happen. You do your best to compromise it out, but at the end of the day, trying to make everyone feel accepted, it doesn't work like that. And you would think, knowing me as a friend for the longest, it'd be like, okay, hey, whatever, or, like maybe I should take into account what this guy's saying. Nope, it's just, this going all through this guy's head. Well, so this other guy that likes that girl that, is very much pretentious and annoying, uh, he's like, hey, let's talk or whatever, right? So we talk over the cord, and it's like, so I laid it straight out to him. I'm like, hey, this is happening. I don't know why she's being like this to me. I didn't do anything to her. Nothing of the sort would have warranted this, but whatever. And yeah, no, he was just like, also completely missed the mark on him too. He's just like, oh, I understand, but if this like something from the past that makes you feel this way because old bullies or something, I was like, no, dude, it's just she straight up doesn't like me for whatever reason. I don't really care. But then, now it's like starting to get to the point where it's fucking my mental, and I'm not having it anymore. I'm straight up tired of it. So, in the end, I lost 2 friends, but that's okay. I feel hella relieved in a wicked sense. Not even a wicked sense, I would say, but more like, I got some weight off my shoulders and I feel just fine about it. I feel rather indifferent. If anything, I feel better. I feel better that I don't have those people in my life anymore. And sometimes you just gotta let go. Life won't always be wins or losses. Sometimes life is just life. You move on. You grow out of people, and that's okay. I had to. But I'm not gonna be not even bullied, but like maybe even guilt tripped into staying into a group that I don't feel like they value. It's like I said, if you knew me for so long, right? I've been there for the guy. Like, if he needed a ride to work, I had him. If, he needed some emotional support, I was there. If you had some complaints about your job, tell me. Like, I'm busy with my own personal life, but I still got the time to do things. I still got the time to be there for people, right? I wish I could say it was, vice versa. And for some people it is. But it was just like, what the hell, man? So, frankly, I had enough. And so did my girlfriend. And I was like, okay, great. I'm happy. We're both on the same page. I wish we don't have to do this, but evidently we do. And I was like, it's sad because, you think you know someone and then you don't. It's like, damn, man. It is what it is, though. And I gotta. My old saying is, I don't cry over spilt milk. And it still stays the same to this day. I don't cry over spilt milk. I have no reason to. Because you know why? I can just buy some more milk. That's just how it is. But, you trade treasure for trash, you'll get trash. So, best of luck to them. Don't really care all that much. It is what it is. But, yeah. I hope you guys are having a way better week than I am. uh, it's not all that bad for me, though. I'm doing pretty well. Does it hurt? Oh, the hell, yes, it does. But that's just life. If you don't hurt, if you don't feel pain, are you really living? So, it's okay. I'm just happy to be alive. Wish them luck. and that's all I can do. Past that, not my issue. But yeah. Oh, what the? Yeah. Nice. Ah, but yeah, it's a little tiring, frankly. And really, in the end, I just asked for them to talk to the girl. You know, I didn't say you have to kick her out. Or maybe I did, I'm not quite sure. But I was just like, yo, who are you gonna choose? So, then again, this the guy that made the choice, well, the guy that did make the choice, but rather the guy that's like, oh, well, you know what, no wrongdoing was ever seen here. He was known at some point to like buy this one guy who pressured him into buying food for him for like a good week before he stopped. But it's like the only reason he stopped is because the guy didn't show up no more. So it's like, you know, whatever. Shit. Damn. Oh no, not 6'7". Kill yourself, bro. Holy hell. That shit's so annoying. It's stuck in my head because I saw that one video of the stupid professor. He's like, "You're idiots. 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". I'm like, oh my god. Now my brain's 6'7". But yeah. So I left that group. And surprisingly, like a day or two later, my girlfriend also leaves the group. But she's just kind of annoyed. It's like, you know what? Fair enough. Fucking, I understand. And her friend, he helped her out to conjure up like some smart ass statement, and it worked. So now, my girlfriend managed to get into my girlfriend managed to get into the heads of them a little bit, saying that to say that she somehow managed to, with this friend, they formulated a response that was like, oh well, you know, hey, my boyfriend has no reason to tell you that this girl's being rude for no reason when obviously she is being rude towards him and blah blah blah, right? And they managed to equate it to, quite frankly, like, you know, if someone told, like, you know, people that, hey, a certain action was taken against them to violate their will to reproduce with, you know, someone or whatever, and, you know, you have the evidence there that it's like, hey, this occurred, you know, but people still don't want to believe it. It's like, you know, it's kind of like that. Like, wow, I didn't realize how bad that friendship is. I was like, shit, dude, you know, I made the right call dipping out. And mind you, I dipped out of this, uh, I dipped out of the group chat a little bit a while back, actually. like a few months back, because I had a family friend, but really he's family. Uh, he's Ethiopian. His whole family is, right. I know two Ethiopian families, right, and they are just the sweetest people ever. And they're not friends, they're family. Because I'll tell you this, my own damn blood of cousins and aunts and nephews or whatnot, they are the scummiest people on fucking earth. I don't regret saying that. They suck, and I wish them nothing but the worst. But these people, these Ethiopian folks, they are true family. You know, I'm I'm white, they're black. It don't matter to me. Love is love, bro. That's just us. You'll never be able to break that bond because they've been there for my family when it was needed most. Our family's been there for them. That's just how tight we are. Nothing bad could ever separate us like that. For like 20 plus years. That's been the motto. And so, yeah. All that to say, one of those Ethiopian family members died some time back, and it hurt like hell. And it hurts like hell talking like this. Matter of fact, this whole video hurts just to express everything, but it's okay. Maybe I needed this, but yeah. Uh, I love that man very much. I'm very sad to. I still think of him to this day. It's like, shoot, dude. And yeah, it sucks, dude. It really does. But that's okay. But yeah, I left the group chat of our friends sometime after he died because I just wasn't in the right headspace. So it was like, damn, it's a sucky time in my life. But, it's okay. It's all good. All I can do now is keep on pushing, and I will keep on doing that because I deserve the best out of this life for as long as I have it. And for as long as I'm alive, I will do the best to make it the best for me and those I love. But I'm not gonna be stressing over drama. It's not me no more. And it's not worth my time, not worth my energy. I can't, make any money off of it. Nor not that I would want to, but it's like, it's not worth it. Value your time, value your friendships. Life goes on quick, and it'll suck before you know it. But yeah, that'll come on. Right. These controls fucking suck. Well, that'll work. But yeah. Damn. Good fight though. But yeah. Yeah. Nice.